Takže dobrý deň. Vítajte teda na dnešnej prvej panelovej diskusii. Welcome everyone, and also I would like to welcome with me my guests. So we have Sophia and Nari. Sophia represents the EF Academy in New York, Pasadena, and Oxford. And Nari is from North Anglia Education, representing a bit more colleges, but mainly Dover Brooks, Oxford International, Hamilton Lane,
and Swiss
boarding schools. So we have an exciting topic. Many of you are thinking about whether I should go and study in the UK or maybe think about US. So I'm glad that you guys were able to join me for this panel. And if you have any questions, you can use the Slido app and you can type your questions in and we can answer them as we go along. So, Nari, can you tell us a little bit more about, let's say, your favorite college in the UK? I bet it's Dover Brooks, where you worked for a few years.
Yeah, Dobry den, first of all. I am biased, I have to say. Dover Brooks is really, nice in Oxford, 2 miles from Oxford University. So you can go and see all the sites where a lot of movies were filmed, like Harry Potter and a lot of like Disney films. I have to say Dover Brooks is kind of got nice nationality mix, 50% UK students, 50% international students. So you don't feel, I haven't got any friend. Everyone is very friendly. And also the schools that we have in the UK, including Dover Brooks, is first name term, probably in Slovakia as well, where I originally come from. You go to school, teachers, you call them sir, Mr. or Mrs. But the UK schools that we have, all the first name term. So for example, principal, his name is Patrick. And then everyone, 15-year-old, 11-year-old students, they call Patrick, oh, hi, Patrick. So it's a very friendly atmosphere. So it may be a bit difficult at the beginning, probably Slovakian students who've got natural respect, for their teachers when they arrive in the UK at, Dover Brooks, for example, and then they probably wouldn't call the teachers. They would just say, oh, hi. And then after, 1 or 2 months, they get used to it and they're like, oh, hi, Patrick, or, really flat relationship in between teachers and students.
Excellent, thank you. Just quickly would like to introduce Lucia, who is also representing a British school from Ipswich, St. Joseph's College. So welcome. And you can also talk to Lucia in Slovak afterwards, which is a great benefit as well. So, Lucia, what would you think is the greatest benefit of studying at St. Joseph's College in Ipswich?
Okay, thank you. Apart from the fact that I'm bilingual, obviously Slovakian and English, it does help students from this region to kind of settle in. But let's just know the college, we are non-selective independent school. We have students from the age of 2 to 18, the boarding from the age of 10 to 18. Why I think St. Joseph's College is very good for international students, and it's part of my role as a director of international learning, that we can personalize your timetable depending on what you need. And what I mean by that is, yes, you can join traditional courses, so GCSEs, A-levels, but we also have something called School Within a School, intensive English pathway, when depending on your English level, we can adjust your timetable and combine it with specific English learning with the subjects you feel comfortable to join straight away. But we also can monitor closely. So when you come in and maybe you're not so confident, you can settle in the English pathway program. After a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, you can gradually join mainstream subjects.
Excellent, thank you. That sounds great. Now, Sophia, you heard Nari talking about the experience mainly at Dover Brooks. You heard Lucia talking about St. Joseph's. Now, EF has schools in both countries, in Oxford and then New York and Pasadena. So what would you think makes the US school special, in your opinion, or different?
I would say that the main difference between US boarding schools or US education and the UK one, the UK boarding schools, they help students excel in exam-based curriculum. There is a box, which is the British curriculum or the IB or whatever it is, and teachers are excellent on making you excel at that. US boarding school, the student and the families design that box. So it's extremely personalized, and it allows students to really discover who they are, what they like. So we still have a box, we still have the IB curriculum, but it doesn't have to be that. You can choose some IB subjects and take IB certificates. And the main difference is that you are a co-part of this. So each student is able to excel at what their strengths are. It's way more freestyling. That doesn't mean that it's not academic. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. What if the parents or the student doesn't have the knowledge to make the choice? So they are maybe not so experienced. What can you do in that case?
I would say 80% of the time, the student don't really know what they want or what they want to do. I still don't know what I want to do with my life right now. So it's a process. So it boils down to having a lot of conversation with the students. So our partners may have these conversations. We talk to the parents, we talk to the student, and students must know whether they like math or they hate it, right? Or they might have certain interests that they would like to explore. So we have university and academic counselors in the schools, and already at the beginning, we help you craft the subjects that you're interested in. Clubs are very important, are essential, actually, in American education. They're as important as the academic part, sometimes even more. So we help you craft your school, and because it's semester-based in the US, you can actually explore some subject in one semester and then change the subject in another. So there's no commitment, you're attending grade 10, you don't have to define your life in that moment. You start by selecting certain subjects. Some are compulsory to gain the American high school diploma, right? So it's not 100% freestyling, but then you get to explore many different aspects during your curriculum. So I had students that entered grade 10. They were sure they wanted to become a doctor. They ended up wanting to study law. So it's a process.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, I just want to add, when you consider a school, so country, probably the first thing, US, UK, Switzerland, a lot of other schools, but you really need to think about very small thing, like what will my child like? Do they like countryside environment? Do they like a city life, or is sports very important? Because you probably hear a lot of prestigious schools, whether in the UK or USA, some schools may focus a bit more on, let's say, performing arts, or it could be very art-centered schools, or it could be very STEM. But the school name is very good. So you really need to, discuss with the school staff or URI in here. So you really need to see what your child likes as well. Not only what they want to do they want to study finance, but still, very small things, their personality, their preference, their friendship group, something like that.
Thank you. What would you say is the student support at the British schools, Nari? Hearing what Sophia mentioned earlier.
Yeah, it's got very, well structured. You probably, you agree with the UK school. So there's a lot of each boarding school or each school in the UK in general, the pastoral care is very big. So you've got student counselor. You probably would be very surprised how many students, not only homesick or, some mental health, but closer to the exam time, you'll be surprised how many people get really anxious, before the exam, to support their student counselor, or if the student come in boarding parent, they are not just a staff, they're almost replacing the parent role, because if you're a boarding student, you spend a lot of time in boarding. and pastoral care in general. So there's a probably you do the same senior leadership team, a lot of in the pastoral care, person in there, and then each teacher probably looks after a very small group of students and then see their well-being. It's not only about academic. I mean, obviously, as parents, you want them to get good grades, but in order to get good grades, students need to be happy. They need to be in a happy environment to achieve that.
Thank you. Lucia, you work in pastoral care and in boarding, so maybe you can tell us what are the most common maybe issues or what's the care at the St. Joseph's College from your point of view?
Yeah, thank you. And I would just echo that one of the things what struck me when I moved to UK was the robust pastoral care in the schools. It's very well structured, so it doesn't matter which part of the day, you have someone to talk to. And the teachers, the pastoral staff is in a school and in a boarding, they do pay a close attention to the individuals. And students from different countries have different issues. The culture shock is real. The little things from having different food, different meal times, different bed times, different, operating in a second language is tiring. So all of these things are real. The homesickness, yes. How many times you can see your family missing the birthdays, missing different things. And realization of all of those things is crucial. And the communication with the parents, with the school, and with a child is important as well. But I would say that the main thing is that culturally, a lot of parents, a lot of students, they don't understand that actually the pastoral staff are there for them. And I think it's not common in many countries to have so much support and so much open conversations about any issues. So actually realizing that, yes, it's okay to say, I am not okay. It's a big thing.
Excellent, thank you. Sophia, there is a question from the audience. It's what do you say? Is it easier to get into a UK school or US school? I think it's not hard to get into any school, or it's hard to, well.
I'm thinking, keep talking.
Okay. So in my opinion, you have in both countries, you have two types of schools. You have selective schools and non-selective, which means that the selective school is there to test you first, is there to test your language abilities, is there to test your academic skills, is there to test your maths, your English, your critical thinking. There are great tests. Now, for example, CAT4 is a great test that most schools use to test your cognitive skills and abilities. And they interview the candidate, and then they decide whether it's a right fit into the school profile and whether the student can achieve what's been said at the beginning during the conversations. And I think there isn't much difference between the standard set between the selective UK schools and selective US schools. Would you agree?
Correct, 100%. It really boils down. It's very school specific. It's not country specific.
Yeah.
So thanks to Josh, you can investigate. You can ask what is the admission process and whether that is a selective school or a non-selective school. Whether you want to go to a selective school. Some parents want to go to a school where their kids are surrounded by overly selected kids. Other parents, they don't really want to take the student into that bubble. So it's a matter of research, yeah.
Thank you. And matter of preference in that case, and what are your expectations? What do you expect to get from the whole experience? What is the goal of going to a private boarding school? If there is a specific goal and you are able to work hard for it, then I believe a selective school is maybe a better approach. If you feel there might be too much pressure and you maybe want to explore other options, and you may be not sure what you want to do, and this non-selective school is your guide on the way, to get to a goal, which you might not have at the moment. What will you say?
Yeah, I would agree with that. What I would like to stress is that that doesn't mean that the non-selective school won't get you the results.
I was about to say that. Sorry, I was about to say that.
Very important.
So talking about the results, which is a great aspect. What to which schools and to which universities were able students progress from St. Joseph's as a non-selective?
I mean, you just named the university in the UK. So last year we had the Oxford, all of the universities in London, from the arts, UCL, London College of Economics, Mathematics. They're one of the best universities in Manchester. So it really depends, because we do offer a wide range of subjects. Therefore, there is a wide range of universities. We also have students going to fashion school in Milan, the school in Switzerland, Holland, America. So it's in Hong Kong, one of the most prestigious universities in the world. So it really where it varies. And we also, what I would like to say is that it's not just about universities. We help students to get to apprenticeships as well. So there's different routes for different people.
Excellent. So we can easily say that going to a non-selective school doesn't mean you don't get to Oxford, you don't get to Cambridge, or you don't get to the best universities in a world. Just maybe coming back to one more question from the audience. What is the age restriction for your students, or for anyone who is interested in coming to St. Joseph's?
Your education have to start before you are 18. So even the last A level, you have to be, you can't be 18 and over. Okay. So you can finish your education with us when you are 19, for example, but you have to start before the age of 18.
Okay. Does it vary at the North Anglia schools?
Yeah, I will probably say the same. I mean, for us, you will have to be younger than 18 when you start the September program for a 2-year A-level program. So you can finish your education at the age of 19 and you are going to university at the 19, but not 20.
Excellent. And what would be the earliest stage you would accept students?
You say, I mean, for us, for boarding is 13, but then you will have to be age and academic grade appropriate. I mean, there are a lot of, smart kids who probably start school at the age of 5 in Slovakia. But so as long as they have filled the academic years, when they come to the UK, we can accept the younger students.
Thank you. What about the American schools?
In the US, it's a 4-year high school, similar as here, and we accept students as early as 13 years old. Few exceptions have been made in the past for 12 years old, but 13 onwards. And of course, in the US, your legal age, like you become an adult at the age of 21. So we are not allowed to have anyone in the school that is turning 21, because that would be an adult sharing dorms with underage.
Okay, thank you. There might be an assumption that if you want to study at a boarding school in the US, you would have to end up at the university in the US, which is not necessarily the case, because the schools that the EF Academy has in the US offer both the American and also international curriculum. So where do students mostly go after they graduate from the EF Academy?
Statistically, it's true that 70% of our students stay in the US. So they decide to continue staying there, and they came to the US for boarding school to get to the universities in the US. However, because we are an international boarding school with more than 50 nationalities in each campus, we always had to have an international baccalaureate, an international pathway, because many students will want to return to Europe. So they join us to experience America and an American boarding school, experience what it means to study near New York and what New York has to offer, or near Los Angeles for everything that Los Angeles has to offer. But then they have a clear goal in mind that they might want to return to Europe or go to Asia. So we are an international bubble in the US. So 30%. We believe, I don't want to say anything dangerous here. We believe that more and more students will not stay in America for university in general, looking at the interviews that we're having. So they are very excited to come to us, but then they are very clear that they want to go international after.
Excellent. And Nari, we heard that students from St. Joseph's are also going outside of the UK for university to different countries. Do you have a similar experience from mainly the British schools that you represent?
Yeah, of course. So for all the UK schools that the North Anglia have, we've got 3 in the UK. Most students probably go to UK universities, but we've got students who's going to US, for example, we've got a school team as a extracurricular or supercurricular, helping them their SAT or US university applications. Some students who really want to study engineering, they may go to Germany or Switzerland. So it really varies. Some students may go back to their home country, usually to study medicine in their country, wanting to be a doctor. So like I said, Hong Kong is quite popular at the moment for the medicine program. So it really varies.
Thank you. So it's safe to say that whether you choose going to study in the UK or in the US, your options are wide open afterwards. And you can go and study anywhere in the world because they teach you the study programs which are equivalent to our maturita, our high school graduation, that is acceptable in countries in Europe, in Western Europe, in the UK, in US, and in Asia. Okay, so I hope this was maybe a small tease into a further conversation with Nari, Sophia or Lucia, and you are welcome to join them in their stands just next door. So thank you very much for participating in the conversation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.